What's up, it's your boy 50 Cent. FightFan.com in the house. It's going down right here.
This is FightFan.com here with the real deal, Ryan Ford. How are you doing tonight, Ryan?
I'm doing good, man. Just getting ready for bed here soon. Get up in the morning, cut a little bit of weight.
Fight night is Friday night in Edmonton at the Shaw Conference Center. Is that right?
That's right, E-Town.
All right, so I guess I wanted to start with a little bit of info that I've already spoke to you about before, but maybe boxing fans in Canada might not know. If you could maybe just start by telling me a little bit about your MMA background.
I fought mixed martial arts for about 9.5 years. Record of 22 wins, 5 losses. Believe 22 of my wins were all by stoppage. I think 20 of them were all by stoppage. I hold the World Series of Fighting Canadian title, the AFC title, the TFC World and Canadian title. Pretty much I made a name for myself in mixed martial arts, and here I am going to make a name for myself in the boxing world.
I'm curious about, I haven't seen really any of your fights in the cage, but I was curious, are the pugilistic skills that you've shown so far, is that something that's always been a part of your game in combat sports? I noticed you got really good head movement, foot movement. It's a lot of things we don't see from fighters that make the switch. I thought you showed really well early in your career.
Yeah, well, for one, I believe it's in my blood, right? My dad was Al Ford, Canadian lightweight champion, ranked number 3 in the world boxing, so I believe it's in my genes. But other than that, I think I was just born an athlete. Whatever I dedicate and focus myself to, I become very good at it.
And why the switch to boxing? What kind of motivated you to make the switch?
I was just mixed martial arts training, getting injuries. It's like you're training 5-6 different martial arts in a period of a time, 5-6 hours of a day. And, you got to consistently train all of those martial arts, whereas, it gets really taxing on the body. Whereas boxing, you get to focus on one thing, and that's your hands. And, that's what I like to do, was knock people out. And, a lot of guys in the mixed martial arts sport there just knew that, so they would always just want to take me down. And I'm a guy that likes to stand up and bang and make it exciting.
And obviously you mentioned your blood, a storied career with your father. Could you maybe tell me where you obviously were exposed to boxing at a very young age, and what were some of the things that sort of left you in awe as a young guy watching the sport?
We grew up with boxing, right? It was, my mom and dad split up when I was very young, but, when my dad was around, boxing was around, and my mom just didn't want us to, because she saw the career that my dad had. So, we played other sports and whatnot, but, I always watched boxing. I took up playing football instead of going the boxing route. And then I had an injury in football, which led me to fighting. Instead of taking on 12 guys, I only had to take on 1. And, it was a lot easier.
So what do you think about, what was the switch like for you? I remember a famous James Toney quote where he said that you play football, you play basketball, but you don't play boxing. Do you kind of get the sentiment behind that, having made the switch from team sports to combat sports?
Oh, 100%, right? You have guys on the field there that are helping you. You step in that ring or that cage, it's you and the man that you're staring across from. So, I'm always up for a challenge. I always fought on the streets where, I didn't get paid and, got into trouble with the law. And, so, here I am today, making a living doing it. And I love it. I love the challenge of, another man standing across me thinking that he's better than me and that he can beat me.
Can you tell me a little bit about the adjustment when you first switched to boxing? I mean, obviously you'd sparred and whatnot before, but what kind of things did you notice challenging in the ring as a boxer?
Just getting used to, just using your hands. And, mixed martial arts is just a total different game. You got to be on your toes for, takedowns, kicks, elbows, knees, where boxing is, you're more focused on, your footwork, your movement, your hand speed, setting up punches. It's, it's just, it was just totally different. But I was always used to it because in mixed martial arts, my striking was what I used mostly. So the transition over to boxing, wasn't that hard. But then again, I just had to get used to just straight boxing, and now that I've been doing it, it's only going to get better every time that I step in the ring.
Something really interesting I wondered about hearing from someone that successfully made the switch is, are there things that you feel that benefit you as a boxer that you can draw from the combat sports in general background? Like, what do you feel kind of brings some success to you from having that background?
Just being just having that experience going against very tough guys. I'm fighting at a division in boxing where the guys aren't really as big as me. And I've been there, I've done it, and now it's just get comfortable with just straight boxing, and I'm gonna prevail just like I did in mixed martial arts.
In your last fight and this fight are both at 168 pounds, super middleweight. Is that correct?
Yeah, this one's actually at 170 pounds.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, it's same thing. 168, 170. I'll fight in between 168 and 175, whatever. Right? I'm game to fight. I can make that weight easy, and I believe that I'm going to be a real threat in that division.
Do you feel comfortable making the 168 pound limit when it comes to it?
Oh, easy. I've been doing it for the past 9 years. When I was fighting mixed martial arts, I fought at welterweight, and it was 170, and most of the time I was weighing in at 169.
And from having seen you up close and stuff, like you're a big guy, obviously in great shape. Like a lot of guys your size can't make that weight limit. Just wondering if you could kind of touch on the discipline that it takes to be able to be as fit as possible to make that weight class comfortably without dehydrating yourself too much.
Yeah, for sure. With mixed martial arts, it was you're walking around 195, 200 pounds, and to compete at that 170 pound division, where boxing, it's not as much weights, not wrestling, and not where you're building that much muscle. So, the whole transition over to boxing was, more cardio, more running, putting in that road work, less weights, more body exercises, body weight exercises, push-ups, sit-ups, that type of stuff. So, I've seen my body, like I've never been walking around at 180 pounds when I was fighting mixed martial arts in the past 9 years. I was always 195, 200 pounds, and these last, would say 6-7 months now that I've just strictly been focused on boxing, my weight's been, 180 to 185 pounds. So, just being able to be that light when it comes down to crunch time where it's okay, I got 2 weeks before I got to start making weight, my weight is already down where it's easy cuts. I used to cut 13 to 15 pounds fighting at the 170 pound division, where now it's like I'm down to cutting 8 pounds.
What can you tell us about your opponent for Friday night, Enriquez? And what are you looking to show in this fight?
Yeah, I watched a couple of his fights on the net there. He's fought some tough guys. He's coming off of 4 losses, but you look at those 4 guys, 2 out of those 4 guys, Arthur Beecherbeeve, ranked number 8 or 7 in the world at light heavyweight. Azalea, I forget his last name, but WBO light heavyweight champ from Ukraine, 300 and some amateur fights. So this guy has a lot of experience. I believe he fought Donna Stevenson in 2012 or something like that. So this guy's been around the game for a long time. He has that experience where, I'm coming in. This is going to be my 4th fight, and I see what he's up to, but I just believe that I'm just going to be too much, for him and a lot of guys at the 168 pound division. I'm in the gym every day, training. I want to be a world champ. If I could become a world champ in boxing, that's what I want to do. If you're not looking at it to be in that spot, you're in the wrong game. You want to be the best. So, I want to fight these experienced guys. You don't see guys that are 4-0 that have just strict turned to boxing, you know, fighting guys with 30 fights. I'm that guy.
That's awesome to hear you say that, because that segues right into my next question. I was just kind of curious what you know, and I apologize if I'm putting on you the spot a little bit, because I know obviously your focus is on your opponent for Friday night, but I'm curious what you know about the super middleweight division in Canada. I know that there's some really good fighters in Quebec right up around the top. Eric Bazignan is 10-0, Francie Natitu 16-0, Schuyler Hypolite 17-1. Those guys are out in Quebec, and I'm wondering, is that something that you feel that you're close to being able to already challenge those top guys, do you think?
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, I'm always up for the challenge. You know, that's the thing about me. I'm game. You know, these guys have been doing it for, you know, probably as long as I was doing mixed martial arts. So, you know, give me a few more fights and just wait till I get real comfortable in that ring. And there's not going to be anybody at that division in Canada that's going to be able to test me. You know, I want the Canadian title in March for my next fight. I don't know who's got the Canadian title or whatnot, but I want to fight for that. You know, I believe that I'm going to be ready. You know, I just got to stay focused and be in the gym. And, you know, I believe that I can compete with the best of them, not even just in Canada, but worldwide.
Awesome, man. I think that's pretty much all I had for you. Is there anything you want to say to the fans, or anything you want to let us know, like shout outs? I know you got I think it's a clothing line up there that I've seen that's fantastic, that's really popular. Anything you want to give a shout out to at this point?
Yeah, you know, I just want to give a shout out to, you know, all my fans out there that, you know, that have been supporting me throughout my career. You know, all the new fans that I'm gaining. I want the people in the boxing world, you know, to keep an eye on me, because, you know, I'm coming full steam ahead. You know, I ain't got no time to waste. I want to make a name in the boxing world, and, you know, I want to give a shout out to all my sponsors. They, you know, they've been supporting me for the past 9 years, 10 years, and you know, without them, I wouldn't be able to train full time, take care of my family, and you know, be able to shine when I step into that ring.
Awesome, man. So yeah, it's Seasons Beatings at the Shaw Conference Center in Edmonton. That's Friday, December 4th. And this has been FightFan.com with the real deal, Ryan Ford. I appreciate you doing this, man. Thanks very much.